Hey everybody, Jeff Gibby here with MetaStock. I want to talk to you about a new product that we've developed with Buff Dormeier, a product that actually has won the CMT's Dow Award. So join me, let's go ahead and get started. All right, everybody, thanks for watching the video. Again, thank you. My name is Jeff Gibby. I'm going to be talking a little bit today. I'm just introducing to you Buff Dormeier's analysis toolkit. And I'm really excited about this. Buff Dormeier, if you're not familiar with him, has been an analyst for a number of years. One of the things I really like about Buff is he's actually won a CMT Association's Charles H. Dow Award, as I kind of alluded to. We've spent the last several months actually getting all of his indicators and all of his tools available for MetaStock, and it's a very big package. In the package, we're going to have basically 24 of his indicators, 24 custom indicators, 2 expert systems, 2 explorations, the ability to test these trading ideas to see how well they work, and then the templates as well. And so it is a full integration into MetaStock, and it's a fairly big one, 24 custom indicators. And here's a list. I'm certainly not going to read all of these, but it does have like his anti-volume stop losses, the buff spread. It's got his TTI indicators. He's got his volume weighted MACD, those kind of things. One of the things that you may not be aware of with Buff is he actually created the volume adjusted moving average. So you're probably using Buff's actual indicators, you just have never known about it until now. So in addition to all of these 24 indicators, you're going to get a complete help manual. That help manual is going to kind of go through everything. It's going to show you how all of the indicators work, how to actually use them in your charting, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In addition to that, you're going to get the 2 Buff Dormeier volume systems. And these are the actual systems that actually won the Charles H. Dow Award that we were talking about earlier. I'm going to kind of show you how those work on a chart and how you can use them with the MetaStock engine to identify the best trades in a chart, get detailed feedbacks about when you should be buying and selling a chart, see how they worked historically. And I think the best way to actually kind of show you how systems work is to go ahead and get into MetaStock and go ahead and open them up. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. And what I've got here is I've got a chart open of Apple with one of the Buff Dormeier systems attached. With it, we're just going to kind of go through the different indicators that are attached. As part of this particular template, you've got the stochastic oscillator. Now, the second indicator right here, this is called the Buff Dormeier TTI indicator. And you can think of this as a MACD, but unlike like Gerard Appel's MACD, this one actually uses a volume, and it uses volume in its calculations. So basically, because it's going to be given really, really good signals. Underneath here, you've got Buff Dormeier's volume price confirmation indicator, the VPCI, and that's a little bit of a mouthful. The way this indicator works, and again, it's detailed in a little bit more detail in the manual, but what it does is it compares the trend of a particular stock, in this case Apple, to let's say the non-volume adjusted trend, to kind of measure it to see how well it's working, to see if a stock is trending, but in addition to if it's trending, to make sure that it's trending with a significant amount of volumes, okay? In addition to that, we're going to go ahead and look at the Apple chart. I want you to kind of understand the lines that actually kind of come in on the Apple chart as well. And I want to make them just a little bit bigger for you so you can kind of see how they work here. Okay, the first indicator I'm going to just go from top to bottom. This first indicator is the Buff Dormeier anti-volume stop loss short. Okay, and the way that you use this is you use this as a stop loss. If you're in a short position, what you're going to wait is what you're going to do to get out of that short position is if you get a close up above that anti-volume stop loss, then you're going to go ahead and get out of it. Okay, so you see right here where we entered into a short position, it came back up and closed above that anti-volume stop loss. That's where you're actually going to exit the trade. Okay. Underneath that, you've got the red dotted line. The red dotted line is your long Buff Dormeier anti-volume stop loss. Okay. And we use it the same way. So, for example, if we're signaled into a long position, which we did right here, once that trades down below your stop loss, that is where you're going to get your exit signal for that trade. Okay. Okay. In addition to that, you've got a couple of moving averages on the chart. Of course, they're going to be the volume adjusted moving averages that Buff Dormeier had actually invented and created. And on here, you're going to have a 20 period and a 40 period volume adjusted moving average. Okay. The volume, of course, is going to be color coded. So if you're moving up on positive volume, you're going to have a green volume bar. If you're moving down on heavy volume, or down, then you're going to have red. And if it's kind of a neutral day, kind of an iffy day, then you're going to have a blue. So those are all color coded. Okay. As you can see, we've totally implemented what we call an expert advisor for both of the Buff Dormeier systems. And those are actually going to help you understand the indicators and help you understand when you should be getting in and out of a chart. Okay. So let me go ahead and go back to full screen right here. And we'll just kind of walk through that, what that is. Right here, what you're going to see when you get a buy signal on the Buff Dormeier system is you're going to just get a buy signal right here on the chart. Okay, as long as you're in that buy signal, your chart is going to be, the bars on your chart are going to be highlighted in a green color. And then when you exit the trade, you're going to get an exit right here. Okay, the same is true with the short signal. So you get a signal that you went short here. As long as you're in that short trade, you're actually going to basically have a red bar, and you'll have a little bit of an exit when that bar completes. Okay. The other thing I want to kind of show you is a feature in MetaStock that's called the expert commentary. And I think this is, I love MetaStock. I love the commentary. When we have commentary, it allows us to go in and explain to you what we're looking at, what we're doing, and what you should be doing with the trade, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and click on View, Expert Commentary. And when I do that, what you're going to see is right here, the MetaStock program is going to apply to the very, very last day. So it's going to look at the last day, and it's going to tell you anything that you need to be aware of on the last day. With this last particular day in Apple, it hasn't signaled really a trade. So it's just going to give you some kind of generic information about the system and how it works. And what it's going to say here is the volume trend momentum system is a multi-factored setup designed to find issues exhibiting a surge or breakout in momentum. It's looking to identify market trends early, convert price trends, sniff out demand, and follow the trend. Here's the indicators that it's using. But since we're not actually getting into a trade today, or we're not in a trade, it's not going to get really, really specific about what you should do with that trade, because there isn't one that exists, right? I mean, that makes sense. So what I can do is I'm going to move this back to this buy signal that we had quite some time ago. This was back on September 11th, 2019 is when this fired a long signal. And you'll notice right here, I'm going to scroll down, the volume trend momentum system, and I can actually make this a little bit bigger so you can read along with me if you want, is signaling a potential long signal. This is a momentum-based, volume-confirmed bullish signal. Traders looking to take advantage of this long signal should look to buy the stock. If you're more aggressive, you could look at bullish option strategies like buying a call. Once long, place a protective stop at 204.77. So not only is this telling you, okay, go ahead and buy now, because right now we're getting a confirmed buy signal, it's also telling you exactly what that stop loss is going to be. I love it. Okay. If I go over one day, it's going to tell me what my new stop loss is going to be, 205.19. If I go to the next day, or I come back on the next trading bar, because you can use this on any type of time frame you want, 205.61. It's basically going to keep us abreast of every single trade we should be making on this until it tells us to get out of that particular trade. So very, very cool. I love the commentary because it allows us to get really, really specific, and it allows us to tell you exactly where we should be getting into a trade and where we should be getting out of a trade as well. So I think that's very, very helpful. Now, you'll notice on Apple that since about April, we're recording this, it's June 8th right now, since about April, we haven't really had any opportunities in Apple to buy it based on the volume trend momentum system. And that kind of is a good segue, because obviously we don't want to buy unless there's a setup and there's a reason that we're buying based on Buff's methods. So What we have the ability to do with the MetaStock program is we have the ability to go through and identify what does have an opportunity. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the Power Console. This is super easy to do. I'm going to go ahead and click on the Explore button right here. And what I'm going to do is you're going to see that I've got volume trend momentum and volume trend thrust. Now, what I want to be able to do is I want to go in and say, okay, well, out of the optional stocks, or out of all of the S&P 500, or out of the NASDAQ stocks, or out of the New York Stock Exchange stocks, or if you're international, maybe you want the Australian stocks, or the Indian stocks, or the London stocks. We cover all of that data with MetaStock because we get the data from Refinitiv. But what I can do is I can say, okay, well, I don't have an opportunity in Apple today. I don't want to necessarily buy. I want to find a good opportunity that exists in the market that I can trade right now. Help me. Okay, and to do that, I'm going to basically run the volume trend momentum and the volume trend thrust ad, and just so that it goes real quick, I'm going to have it scan over the S&P 500. So we'll go ahead and start that exploration, and it's just going to truck through them. See, we're rejecting we've gone through 250 stocks. We're rejecting about 97% of them, and this allows me to ignore the stocks that don't have an opportunity and focus on the ones that do have an opportunity. And you'll see it's already done. Okay, so if we're looking for volume trend momentum opportunities tomorrow in the market, we could look at Bank of America, we could look at CRBE, we could look at Eaton Ordinary, we could look at Wheaton, we could look at Ford. The important thing here is there's only long opportunities. We had a very, very big bullish day today. If there was a short opportunities, I'd have a 1 in these column. In terms of these are just longs today. Okay, I could go ahead and save these to a list. Now, instead of looking at all 500 S&P 500 stocks, though, I'm only looking at the 15 that actually have an opportunity to determine my favorite. And that's what we call scanning in MetaStock. I love our ability to go in and scan different stocks and focus on the ones that have just the best opportunity. Okay, it is a fully integrated add-on, and that also allows me to test trading ideas. So if I wanted to go in and say, okay, well, how did these Buff Dormeier methodologies work over the last several years? I could actually go in and test that same S&P 500 or all of the optional stocks, right? Could see how it did in India or London or Australia. For the purpose of this, I tested about a year of historical data, and I'm just gonna go ahead and show you the report for that. So go ahead and click on the report here. Just going to go ahead and click on the first report that I ran. And here we've got the volume trend thrust system. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click on view on that. And here are a list of all of the S&P 500 stocks. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of make this full screen so I can share it with you a little bit more. I'm going to sort this based on net profit right here. Okay, and so obviously what I want to be able to do is I want to focus on the left-hand side here. I want to be able to look at how well they work and focus on the methodologies and the instruments they work on. So over the last year, if I had taken all of the signals on DXSeek technology, I would have taken 4 trades. All 4 of those would have been winners, 0 losers. That might be something that's beneficial. Okay. Alliance Data, 3 winners out of 0 losers. Okay. Invesco, we have 4 trades, 3 winners versus 1 loser. Okay. Not only that, with the testing engine you have with MetaStock, you have the ability to test multiple securities at once. You also have the ability to go in and look at full-fledged reports. So I'm not going to kind of spend a lot of time in here, but I can go actually here and view. And on DXC, we would have made a profit of about 93%, $9,363 if we started with basically 10,000 days. We basically traded 502, so actually about 2 years of data. We made about 49% a year over that 2 years of data. Testing works in the MetaStock program. Buff Dormeier analysis toolkit does take advantage of charting, the expert advisor, the scanner, and the system tester. And it does a very, very good job of doing all of that. So what I want to do is really kind of talk a little bit about how this is a full-fledged analysis toolkit. It does have, as we talked about, 24 custom indicators, the 2 templates, 2 system tests, the explorations, the ability to scan, the system test. And we're offering this at $149 per month, because we're confident that if you use it and you implement it in the trading that you're doing, it's going to pay for itself. And so what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and throw that out as $149 per month. If it pays for it, go ahead and keep it. Otherwise, it's a subscription. You can cancel it at any time. So give us a call, 800-882-3040, or visit us online at metastock.com/saleschat. Thanks for watching the video. Try the program and let me know how you like it. Thanks.